Hey, good morning, my dear friends. It is great to be with you here day after Father's Day down here in Surfside, California. There is so much to talk about. See a lot of surf fishermen around. Hey, there's my over-under guy right up the beach here. We're going to have to set up where he's at. We're going to be checking in on the bluefin tuna, some yellowtail action, also some white sea bass. A lot of them being seen up there in the Channel Islands. You know what time it is. It's time for the MB. Let's get rolling. All right, we got to go see what this guy's caught so far this morning. Good morning. He's fishing a high-low rig, as you can see. He really puts the wood to him. Oh, my goodness. There's a lot of fish in there. I see a big spot fin down the bottom there, I think. Lots of yellowfin croaker. Another successful day here at the beach. Really good to see you here. Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, the day after Father's Day. I hope you had a wonderful day with your kids and your families and your loved ones. It really is a special day, and as I like to say, there's nothing better in life than being a good father. I salute each and every one of you for accomplishing that difficult feat. It's so rewarding and so great to have kids and to be a father, and man, so many of you take your kids out fishing, take them out into the great outdoors. It's part of the Friedman Adventures family, and we deeply appreciate all the sacrifices you make as dads. All right, we have got a lot to talk about around here. As I see a guy up here on the surf throwing a fish on the beach right now. There's all kinds of activities going on. We've got this gentleman behind us, so we can play the over-under game. That is, how many fish will he catch during the morning briefing? We're going to put the number at 4 this morning. Put your bet in right now in comments. Will he catch more than 4 or less than 4 during the morning briefing? He's already got a nice hit on the fish. So much to talk about. The bluefin tuna bite. It was a little bit breezy out there. What'd that do to the bite? Also, we'll look down the beach about 8 days down there because the Intrepid's been down there fishing around the ridge and Alejos Rocks. And we also have our very own Danny Cadota moving up on that area on the American Angler right now. We'll be checking in to see how Danny is doing also. We're going to check south of the border in Ensenada to see how they are doing. And of course, we'll take a look at the Channel Islands where it was a little breezy, but Daniel Hadaway got out on the island spirit and had a spectacular Father's Day celebration. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, is that good? And man, did I need that. Starting to feel slightly better. I mean, I have been completely wiped out for about 3 or 4 days with a bad flu or whatever it is. Just got plenty of rest, drank plenty of fluids, and starting to feel slowly but surely pretty good. So that means that probably, depends upon whether I run down or not here during the day, but more than likely I'll be over with Sam at Island Fishing Tackle this evening. Sam De La Torre for our live show, Tackle Shop Confessions. I'm feeling like I can pull that one off. If it were last night or the previous night, forget it. It was not going to happen, but feeling pretty darn good here this morning. So let's get it rocking and rolling tonight, Sam. Looking forward to another great show. If I happen to hit a wall and unable to do it, I'll let you know on our Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Speaking of that, hit the like button, please. We deeply appreciate that. Share these videos with a friend. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell. Come on, tick that bell because you'll be notified when there is new content. Also, we are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify each and every single day. So you can check us out there also. All right, so much to talk about. Let's start down the beach about, 400 miles, maybe even a little bit better than that, where the Intrepid had just a great 7-day trip. They ended up with wide open 18 to 25 pound yellowtail. Fantastic fishing on the Forkies. They had some fish over 40 pounds. we have seen a good steady diet of that big yellowtail on these 7-8 day trips here recently. In fact, the Independence on one trip had several fish over 50 pounds. There are some big yellows biting down the line there, and it has been spectacular. Danny Cadota from the Danny Cadota Show right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel is motoring up on that zone as we speak. We should be getting some news in from the American Angler and Danny here shortly. We'll be watching that for you all very, very closely. And Danny, we wish you the very best of luck, my dear friend. All right, 70 miles below the border, we'll go to Ensenada, where the boys down there are still putting the wood to the bluefin tuna. Trolling Mad Mac lures, they're coming up with some good hits. Daytime fish down there off Ensenada, and it's been pretty steady and consistent. That is not to say that you catch a bluefin tuna every time you go offshore, but it's with great frequency and consistency that you do. Mostly it seems like 18 to 30, 40 pound bluefin tuna. Every once in a while you'll get 100+ pound fish, but trolling with the Mad Mac lures has been the way they have been getting it done. Also, you can pull up on some breezing fish from time to time and throw something like a Daiwa Sakana or a Cold Sniper. A jig like that has been working very, very well. 120 grams is about right, nothing less than 50 pound when you're throwing that. I'm talking about your fishing line, your mono or your fluoro, whatever it is you're fishing. I'd fish at least 80 pound spectra with 60 pound fluoro, and then I would throw the iron with that because you never know when you're going to hook a truly big fish. Down there in Ensenada, there's also some really good action going on sand bass and calico bass and barracuda and big bonita, and also an occasional hit on the nice yellowtail down there in Ensenada. 70 miles below the border, such a beautiful town, and some really excellent fishing going on down there right now. The El Patron goes to Catalina Island on a regular basis. They'll be fishing offshore for these bluefin tuna here shortly. If you'd like to get on the El Patron, just go to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Get on the El Patron. All right, let's talk this bluefin tuna bite. It got kind of nasty out there. The weather came up. And what do you think it did to our bluefin tuna bite? Nothing. In fact, it's been really, really good. Now, having said that, there are so many boats out there. There's a lot of different experiences. So I try to give you what the norm is, what most people did. You know, there's guys out there that had terrible trips. There's guys that had trips of a lifetime. Overall, it's very good fishing right now on the bluefin tuna. I mean, really, really good. You get on some schools and they stay with you for hours. Now, that's not for everybody, but we certainly saw that happening. And the grade of fish now, I want to say is 18 to 40, 60 pounds for the most part, but every once in a while, you'll start catching some of those bigger fish. But a lot of that mid-grade fish right now, and they're still really beautiful fish. The Tribute, 32 on the bluefin tuna on a day-and-a-half trip, and that is just really good fishing. The XL, the Independence, the Polaris Supreme, all had some really good nighttime hits on the bluefin tuna here recently. Richard Cayo was on board the Polaris Supreme, and he said they had a school that stayed with them for hours. It was wide open. Great fishing. They limited out on the bluefin tuna, and he said the tungsten lures, you know, the tungsten, really heavy lures, smaller profile, that was really fantastic. He fished 120 grams, 150 grams, 180 grams. They all worked very, very well. So those smaller profile jigs are the ones that continue to get bit the best. West Coast jiggers, HD 350 has been super effective. Daiwa SK jigs, super effective. But the smaller profile, even in this wind, they were biting out. I'd still have some 400-gram jigs with me just in case you get into a windy situation where it requires that you fish it. But for the most part, it's been those smaller profile jigs that have been really working the best. Spirited Adventure on a recent trip here had a school for hours and hours. Really outstanding fishing going on the bluefin tuna. Once again, folks, you need to fish at least 100-pound spectra. We like 200-pound leader material. 3-4 feet of leader is all you need. That's going to do you fine. Say 4 feet should be just fine. And wow, there has been some conking going on now. The weather is going to be a little bit up and down. Right now it's pretty nice out there in the tuna zone. Looks like it might blow up again on Thursday afternoon. And it's going to be breezy, but definitely fishable. And these things are biting in the weather, so who cares? It's a great time to get out there and put the wood to these bluefin tuna because we've seen some really great stuff going on. The Fibbers Christian Club. Thank you for advertising with Friedman Adventures. We deeply appreciate it. They want you to know they have a day-and-a-half trip on the Thunderbird coming up. Should be a great one. June 26th through the 28th. And the folks at the Fibbers Christian Club, Fishing Club, you just cannot beat them. When I get an opportunity to speak there at that club, I jump at it because they are such lovely, wonderful, outdoor-loving folks over at the Fibbers Christian Fishing Club. Couple ways you can sign up. You can go to Fibbers, F-I-B-E-R-S, fishingclub.com, or you can just show up at their next meeting on June the 20th at 7 p.m., 300 Magnolia Street in Costa Mesa, California, and you can sign up there in person and enjoy their great meetings and ambience that they have. So don't forget, Fibbers Christian Club, day-and-a-half trip, June 26th through the 28th. You will have the time of your life. So really good bluefin tuna fishing going on. Those one-day trips, boats that leave in the morning, come back in the afternoon, are still seeing a lot of bluefin tuna, but just catching a few fish from time to time. The other day, the San Diego had a 200-plus pound bluefin tuna, but mostly looking at them. They just don't want to bite in the daytime all that well. Starting to catch a few more yellowtail, and there's been some of that big bonito around also. That's fun to mess around with, but for the most part, that daytime bite remains difficult. Still, having said that, bring a rod and reel combo to fish 40-pound fluorocarbon with. That's the rig you're going to fly line with, but you also need that 100-pound Spectra 2-speed reel ready to do battle. As I mentioned, some 200-plus pound bluefin tuna wandering around, and that is amazing stuff, no question about it. If you've got tax problems or unfiled taxes, Tim Marquez is your man. He's a great Friedman Adventures family member. Give Tim a call today. He's been doing it for 35 years. He'll take really good care of you. And for heating and or air conditioning needs, man, there's nobody better than our friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Give John a call today. Time to talk islands. And I got to tell you, the Coronado Islands, a little bit of bass, some barracuda, occasional yellowtail, plenty of rockfish down there in that neck of the woods. Not many folks are focused on the Coronado Islands right now, principally because that bluefin tuna is just captivated everybody. Everybody wants to go out there and catch that BFT. Now, some of that BFT is just down the beach, that 200-pound fish down around the tuna pens below the 371 continues to show, and a lot of private boaters have been going down there and catching some trophy fish, no question about it. The island, though, itself, not bad, and some really good calico bass fishing going on. San Clemente Island, man, we're off to the races at SCI the other day. We had some extremely good hits on the Yellowtail. And yesterday, the Thunderbird was there, and they put the wood to them again with 48 yellowtail, 8 to 25-pound fish. There's some small fish in there. There's some really nice big bruisers in there. Fly line bait seems to be best of all with 20 to 25-pound fluorocarbon. Taking your time to choose a really good hot bait is essential to your success as the wind picks up here a little bit on the beach. It really is. So make sure you have that. And then also really, really effective has been at times the yo-yo iron and some surface iron fish also. Clemente looking good. And let's not overlook the fact that they're also starting to see an increase in the bass bite over there now also. The bass are starting to play quite a bit more. I think they had near 50 bass, keeper bass over there. Springtime. I know it's been slow, but slowly but surely it's trying to head into the right direction. So hopefully this is a sign of more to come. And don't forget, Fibbers Christian Club, they've got that day-and-a-half trip. Sounds like that bite is on right now. We'll continue to watch it for you very, very closely. Our friends on the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California, have a couple of great overnight trips for you. Thursday night, Saturday night, they've got more trips out of 22nd Street Landing. Of course, you all know how much I love fishing on board the Amigo. Mark Paisano Jr., man, nobody does it better. Their crew is fantastic. Jason Lawler and George and the Galley. I mean, they put out some culinary masterpieces that will blow your mind. Nothing like fishing on board the Amigo, and they've got trips this week. Don't miss it. 310-832-8304. Really good stuff going on. All right, let's talk Catalina Island, where the Pursuit, they say they are seeing much better conditions, picking at some yellowtail, catching a little bit more barracuda, calico bass bite starting to come on, few halibut, plenty of rockfish. Should you miss on the surface stuff, or you just want to add to your surface catch, pretty darn good sign going on. The El Patron out of 22nd Street Landing with 48 legal calico bass, also getting a show on the Yellowtail and seeing some barracuda around. So things are headed in the right direction there. It really is starting to look better and better and better. I would bring some light stuff. I'd have a rod with 15 pound to catch those bass on. If you can bump it up from there, go for it. But 15 pound fluoro, GT4 fluorocarbon from Promar Ahi really, really works well. My throat is about to take, I don't know what it's about to, so excuse me. Oh, so much better. I think I can make it. All right, so fluoro, choosing a good hot bait, 15 pound. You'll be all over the bass on the El Patron or any other boat you're fishing at Catalina Island with. Also, you want to have some iron in case you get into a barracuda bite. And also you want to have, I would say, torpedoes in the 12 to 16-ounce range in case you get out and fish some deep water cod. Starting to transition into more of a surface bite right now. So probably not, but just be prepared. In case you get wind and current, you'll be able to fish that. So there you go. All right, Santa Barbara Island, we continue to see a few sea bass, halibut, rockfish. Excellent out there in that neck of the woods. By the way, we'll probably be fishing Santa Barbara Island on our June 24th trip on the El Patron. Just a few spots left. You've got to book that through the landing. We're going at 5 a.m. and we're returning at 7:30 in the evening. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Up there in the Channel Islands, just about everybody threw in the towel yesterday. The forecast was for really rough and windy weather. But Daniel Hadaway, he had a full boat of anglers that wanted to go out and celebrate Father's Day. And pretty much right before he was about to shove off, the weather got downgraded. It turned out to be a really great day. On board the Island Spirit, they came up with 45 anglers celebrating Father's Day, having a great time together, 300 bottom fish, and they also caught a few barracuda, got a signal on it. Things are looking good in the Channel Islands. We need that weather to lay down. It's going to do that now in the subsequent days here. The Californian showed us the way the other day. Saul down on deck. Wow, Cody Rogers running the California. Ventura Sport Fishing, they had a nice shot of bottom fish. They had halibut. They had barracuda. Spring's ready to explode up there. Hopefully it's not going to be too much longer as I'm watching my camera because it just looks like it wants to blow away. It looks like it's going to fall at any moment. And I have no idea about the over-under behind me there. You're going to have to fill me in comments down below. So once again, really good signal up there. In fact, on the gray light, check that out. To the untrained eye, that looks like, I don't know what it looks like. But to the trained eye, it is mountains of white sea bass, copious amounts of white sea bass being sonar metered up there in the Channel Islands. However, they've got lockjaw. One of these days, it's going to explode. We've had some really good bites on the sea bass, but they last a day or two and then it's over. So hopefully it's going to happen again really, really soon. Ventura Sport Fishing, you should get on board the Island Spirit. They have plenty of room for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And they'll probably get out with a light load. Those light load days are fantastic because you limit out on the rockfish in a perfect scenario. Okay, I'm not guaranteeing anything. You limit out on the rockfish pretty quick, and then you're able to go check out the barracuda and halibut, white sea bass, and all that surface stuff. Island Spirit up there. Ventura Sport Fishing. Get on board the Island Spirit by calling 805-676-3474. Or you can go to venturasportfishing.com and you can buy your tickets, purchase your tickets online. Getting a little breezy here. I just have a little bit further to go. Excuse me. One more. I think I'm going to make this, folks. Thank you so much for being here. as I deeply appreciate it. All right, so you can hear Channel Islands, not many boats out. One guy made it. Island Spirit had a great day. And if with a good weather forecast, that place is going to blow sky high. On the coast, a lot of sculpin, whitefish, rockfish. Monte Carlo with great sculpin fishing out of 22nd Street Landing. Several other boats got in on that Victory, City of Long Beach. Down in San Diego, however, we continue to catch good calico bass with an occasional white sea bass on the Daily Double and the New Seaforth, and occasional yellowtail. They're trying to get their springtime bite, and it's been pretty darn good. There's been a lot of bass released and quite a few keeper calico bass. But up in this neck of the woods where we're still slowly but surely getting our water temps up and getting our water clarity up, we are catching a lot of sculpin, whitefish, rockfish, that kind of thing. Don't forget about big fish bait and tackle down on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the surf fishing baits and rigs you'll need. And they also have tackle for trout, freshwater bass, and all the way up to marlin and big fish like bluefin, tuna, and so much more. Big fish bait and tackle as we're getting ready to talk about the surf here. And as you can see, it's been good. I mean, that guy's bucket was pretty darn full here this morning. And that looks good to me. I see guys down here. I've seen them catch a couple of fish as I've been doing the morning briefing. They're quite a ways down. I couldn't tell exactly what they were, but I saw them catching fish. So good stuff. There's been yellowfin croaker here in the surf. There's been some spotfin croaker in the surf, and there's been the occasional halibut also starting to bite. There's sand crabs. I can see some patches here. Sand crabs are great bait. There's sandworms if you dig around in the sand, and those sandworms are spectacular bait. So really good fishing. And we have seen down towards San Diego, our friend Glenn Saldivar has caught some stripers down there in the past week or so. He continues to catch also some bar perch. We see a little bit of that up and down the coast also. Don't forget Big Fish Bait and Tackle. They've got that monthly giveaway. They'll give you a brand new custom surf fishing rod, and it is gorgeous. You can go into the shop and check it out. All you have to do is go into Big Fish Bait and Tackle, buy the ruler. You're automatically in for the entire rest of the year just by purchasing the ruler, and then all the details of how you upload your video and your photos to their Instagram page. You have the biggest fish, you win. You get the rod and reel. This month is halibut, and so go grab your Lucky Crab lures or get your chrome jigs like your Castmasters or crocodiles and catch a big old flatfish and win that baby. That would be fantastic. All right, looks like I made it. I'm not sure about tonight on Tackle Shop Confessions. If it's like it has been for me, I run down quickly after I do the morning briefing. But there's no doubt about it. Feeling much better this morning. So I'm planning on a 6 p.m. live show with Sam. If I go down the tubes, I'll let you know. All right. How'd we do back there? Is that a fish? I don't know. I hope he went over because he's a really good guy and a heck of a fisherman. I hope you again had a great Father's Day. And I hope to see you really, really soon.